Red lights go on. So can Owen Rosser convert pole into a win? He makes a half-decent start. It's a good start as well from Tim Bentley there on the second row of the grid in car number 4, as well as they head down towards Clervaux Corner. For the first time he's got into the lead of the race, has he? From Scott Edgar. And it's Scott Edgar that gets the lead of the race then as they go through the first corner. The pole position drives down to about 8th or 9th. There's one off through the gravel trap at Clervaux as well, but I think they will all continue. So as they head out of Hawthorne through the chicane for the first time, it's actually one of the 182s that's come to the front, isn't it? And Scott Edgar.
From 7th on the grid. So some very weird things happened, I think, up towards Clervaux. Owen Rosser, perhaps his lack of experience there on colder tyres in a starting situation kind of come into play. And it's really mixed everything up. So Scott Edgar, who is pretty experienced, has been racing the Clio 182 for a while, is the race leader. Some battles a bit further back going on between some of the novice drivers. But here are the leaders through the S's. So it is Scott Edgar that leads from Tim Bentley. Then in third place, the best of the 197s is Justin Griffiths, the only, I think, driver that has raced before who's in one of those cars. Here this weekend, Scott Edgar gets there. He's sideways, but he hangs on to it. Then Chris Keir is in 4th. And then 5th is Jack Dwayne. But a slow here off of the corner is Tim Bentley. That gives Justin Griffiths a chance to make a move into the complex, but I don't think he can do it. I don't think in the top 4 in this race have ever won a race before.
No, well, it should be, therefore, a very exciting development that we've got here. They're down towards the hairpin for the first time. Scott Edgar, it is, that's leading. Second place is Bentley, but you've got the more modern car just behind him, the 55 car, trying to find a way through. That's Justin Griffiths then, as they come through to complete lap number 1. There's just a little bit of daylight between Scott Edgar, who's quite experienced now, and the rest of the field. It's Bentley in second, Griffiths in third position. In fourth position, Chris Clear, then Jack Dwayne, defending champion, 5th, and Nick Brady 6th.
The order hardly resembles the grid anyway, does it? Owen Rosser dropped all the way down to 16th, so the man from Great Dunmow, not a great first lap. Let's see how he can get on. What about the champion from last year? Well, Jack Dwayne is getting alongside Chris Keir, and he can't quite make that work, I don't think. But in front, Justin Griffiths goes up the inside of Tim Bentley and goes through, so he's up into second place. Scott Edgar trying to get away, he was all over the curbs there. He knows he needs to make a bit of a gap here. In qualifying, he was a second or so slower than Justin Griffiths, who's now in second. And side by side, Jack Dwayne, this time through the S's, he's trying to go through ahead of Chris Keir, and he's done it, I think, as they get to Barkoff. Yeah, the champion then, Jack Dwayne, moves up into 4th position. Car bouncing around on the suspension, and that's the change then completed for Jack Dwayne. Can he go after the top 3? Although he's wide there out of Sunny.
So Dwayne trying to make some progress then. He's just about held on to that position. A very packed field behind him though. And for the lead, not too much to choose between Scott Edgar and Justin Griffiths, number 55 in second place. They're right together now. Tim Bentley third, Jack Dwayne and Chris Keir doing battle over 4th position. And the 2 leads are going to be side by side, I think, as they come up to the line this time. There they are, Scott Edgar with Justin Griffiths right behind him, indeed alongside him. It's still Edgar ahead though as they head into Clervaux Corner that time, but he's only got a matter of inches between himself and that 197 car behind him. So it's Edgar leading and Griffiths in second place. 2 different classes, and they do look pretty evenly matched, Josh.
Justin Griffiths, though, has caught during the course of that lap. He finished 9th in the championship last year. On that lap, he was over a second under the lap record previously held by Patrick Fletcher, multiple champion. But they head down then in towards Tower. Around the outside looks Griffiths. And he was fairly new to racing still, but can he get himself up ahead of Scott Edgar? Is alongside him. He tries to shut the door down towards the S's, and he's been able to do it. But there's so many cars in this lead group, isn't there? There's about 12 of them, I think, separated by not very much at all, as they turn their way now onto Barcroft, and Scott Edgar's pushing on the cars, bouncing around on the rear suspension there. It's only 5 cars separated by about a second as they turn their way through Sunny, and we really will now see where the benefits come from the 2 different types of car.
Yeah, because you've got a mixture of them in this group. Of course, they're mostly the 182s that have been long established in the K-Tec Racing Clio 182 Championship. It's 5 for the lead, and a gap back to the 6th place car, which is number 47, and that's Ben Swift. He's leading the next group, another relatively new name, but here's the first 5, headed by Scott Edgar. That's a slightly bigger 197 model. Just behind him is Justin Lawrence, but Justin Griffiths, but there's a bit more of a gap between them that time. There's one for the pits as well, and that's the number 7 car, Stephen Richardson.
And have we got a new leader? No, we haven't, not quite. And for second, though, it's all very tight into Clairvaux, but I don't think anyone's actually changed position. So it's still Edgar for Griffiths, Bentley, Dwayne, and Kia. Although now Christopher Kia takes a tighter line through Hawthorne, which puts him on the inside line of Jack Dwayne through the chicane. We had to back out of it, otherwise there would have been contact. And for the lead, Justin Griffiths now back on terms with Scott Edgar heading down towards Tower in a straight line. There doesn't look very much between the two different types of cars. They're on the brakes late on the outside. Justin Griffiths trying to get through. Don't think he quite was able to manage that. Kind of wonder if Scott Edgar is running a bit of a defensive race here to try and hang on to this lead. It's a rare opportunity from 7th to lead on the first lap, but he managed it and he's in front. And the car looking pretty sketchy because it really does bounce around in these faster parts of the track. But he turns then into Sonny in front. You mentioned Ben Swift a while ago. It's good to see he's out there because when I came to the circuit yesterday morning, he was leaving the track, but not quite sure what the problem was there. But he's back out there and in the top 6, running well. Yeah,
so Scott Edgar it is that leads. 34-year-old house builder from Haywards Heath. His only circuit racing has been in the K-Tec Racing Clios. Started racing in 2007. He was the highest placed novice in his first year. His best season was his 4th season when he finished 2nd in the championship. Enjoys Thruxton more than any other circuit, and this is a self-run car. But is it a self-run car that's about to lose the lead? Because again, Justin Griffiths gets alongside as they come out of the hairpin. They're overlapping as they go over the timing line this time, and I think the nose of the 197 is just about in front, but Scott Edgar's still got the line here as they head into Clairvaux corner, and he has held on. So Scott Edgar doing a really good job here to stay out in front of that 197.
Absolutely, so it's a great battle going on here. 5 cars for the lead, which is absolutely fantastic to see, including the champion from last year. Justin Griffiths was sideways there off of the chicane. He kept his foot planted though and didn't lose too much time, but he is under pressure from Tim Bentley, who's returning to the Clio Series this year, and he's on the inside. They're almost mirror to mirror, and Jack Dwayne's keeping a watching brief there in P4, but Tim Bentley has got 2nd, and can Jack Dwayne get and fighting back actually is Justin Griffiths. It's not over yet. They're 3 abreast pretty much, with Jack Dwayne comes round the outside of both of them into the S's, can't quite do it, and Justin Griffiths had a huge moment there. He's saved it, I think. The car was sideways into the S's. He's lost a load of positions because of it, but that was quite a save, I think, to hang on. So Tim Bentley's 2nd, Jack Dwayne is now 3rd, 4th is Griffiths, and 4th is Kia. Now Tim Bentley's run off the circuit, but he doesn't lose a place, so surely Scott Edgar must have a bigger lead now, Ian.
Well, he does, doesn't he? It's huge now from what it was a lap ago. So it's Scott Edgar now leading, and it's 182s, 1, 2, 3, 4 at the moment, within 5th place, the first of the 197s in the form of Justin Griffiths. I think it's still Ben Swift, isn't it, in the 47 car that's in 6th place. There you can see him with the novice cross on the back of the car. So he is a relative newcomer, and he did just 1 round towards the end of last season. But there you could see side by side for 2nd place. There's a black and white driving standards flag for someone who's probably been exceeding track limits. But it's Tim Bentley and Jack Dwayne gunning for 2nd place, and it's Bentley that holds on down into Clairvaux corner. But look how tight it is behind, with Jack Dwayne, last year's champion, the car dealer from Lincoln, in 3rd place, number 1. And then it is Christopher Kia, 22, in 4th position.
But there's Scott Edgar with a couple of seconds advantage. We've had 5 laps, probably about 10 laps like the Civics, won't it? And so had half the race, half still to go pretty much therefore. There's Tim Bentley then in 2nd. He breaks really late behind Justin Griffiths, trying to gain positions again. Can he get back up the inside? No, he can't, of Christopher Kia. Then you've got Ben Swift and Nick Brady both having great races in 6th and 7th, but here this line of cars come. Absolutely fantastic way to start this new era of the Clio Championship, the Clio Sport Championship as it's going to be known now. And Tim Bentley hanging on in 2nd place, but Jack Dwayne, he might not have the quickest car perhaps today, Ian, but he's got the racecraft, hasn't he? He's been working his way through the order. He started out in 5th in the early stages, he's up to 3rd and really putting a lot of pressure on Tim Bentley here.
He is, yes. Can we see him make the move into 2nd position? Scott Edgar's a couple of seconds up the road. Just there he is. He goes through into 2nd place, and Christopher Kia is going to follow him as well. So Tim Bentley losing out a little bit now as they make their way through the hairpin. In fact, Bentley's lost another position as well, because the 197 of Justin Griffiths bustling back into the equation as well after that off at Barcroft a lap and a half ago. But Scott Edgar's lead is expanding now. It was 1.81 seconds. It is now just waiting for the timing screen to update itself.
I've got 1.9.
Yeah, okay, so it's about 1.91, but as you can see, lots of green and red on the screen there as positions have changed.
Fastest lap has just gone to Owen Rosser, who's back up to 11th now. He's done a 1:37.5, which is pretty much a second faster than anybody else, but he just lost out there at the beginning, didn't he? But I think the second race is set by the fastest laps of this one, if I recall, which means he'll be back on pole for tomorrow's race, if that's correct, and I think it is. So he'll have learned a lot, I suspect, during the course of this race. We've still got a third of it to go.
I just wonder if it was confidence at the start. I mean, he initially looked to get off the line quite well, but maybe through the gears, maybe that was where it went wrong. There he is now.
Just got 10th round the outside of Tower to get himself ahead of Darren Ransom, but he's got loads of pace, and that's a good way to get going, isn't it? You can sort of learn the racecraft at the pace. If you've got that naturally, that's a great thing.
Around the sunny right-hander they go.
Oh, Nick Harrison's coming through, isn't he? In the second of the 197s, he's got 7th away from Nick Brady. I think that's one of the old official Renault Sport Championship cars from, what, a decade or so ago that Nick Harrison runs. So great to see those cars now being encouraged out into the 750 Motor Club Championship. And the leaders then, or leader, Scott Edgar, then the rest. In second place, Jack Dwayne turns his way through the hairpin and accelerating through. We should squeeze 3 more laps, I think, out of this. It's going to be tight, whether it be 2 or 3. We'll see shortly. But it is Scott Edgar then with a reduced margin of 1.6 seconds over Jack Dwayne. Then Christopher Keir and Justin Griffiths come up next. Then Tim Bentley, then Ben Swift, then Nick Harrison, then Nick Brady. It's so close, isn't it? After all this time, the top 11 cars there coming through just less than 10 seconds apart.
Plenty more tin top racing to come today. Hot hatches around about 4:25. This time last year, I think it was Ollie Wayne that was doing the opening round of the championship at Cadwell Park, wasn't it? But he's watching on the live stream this time, giving encouragement to Jack Dwayne as well.
Well, Jack Dwayne is starting to reel this gap into Scott Edgar. It's a little too late. But now that Edgar hasn't got to defend, that's probably helping his life rather much. Where Dwayne hasn't really got away from Christopher Keir, has he? Actually, Keir was the quickest of the 3 leaders on the last lap. And they've all started to get away from Justin Griffith. He's got Tim Bentley right behind him as they turn their way into Sunny, trying to take this tighter line. I don't think we've seen Tim Bentley for a few years, so good to see he's back out there. And off the track we've had one car at the chicane that's just getting back on.
Yeah, was that Algieri possibly?
Yeah, don't think so.
No.
But one the car a bit further back. But good to see it got back going. Nick Harrison now dives up the inside into the complex, just behind what we're watching to get 6th off of Ben Swift. I'm not sure he's actually done it though. It was a bold move there. Now, are we going to squeeze 2 more laps in or not?
No, last lap board's being shown.
Right,
Just
okay.
got Edgar. Last lap's board is being shown.
He'll be pleased because I think that whole host of cars behind is getting closer to him. A gap of 1.6 seconds becomes 1.1 seconds. So yeah, I think he will be preferring 1 more lap rather than 2.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. He's got a margin of 1.16 seconds at the moment, but then you've got Dwayne and Keir and Griffiths and Bentley and Swift behind.
Owen Ross, another fastest lap, a 1:37.2. He's 1.7 seconds faster than the race leader, Scott Edgar.
Could make up another couple of places then before the end of this race at that rate. I think he's got Brady 6 tenths ahead of him, and then about another 8 tenths ahead of that is Harrison.
Here he comes, looking to the outside into Tower. This is the car that Stephen Corner raced last year in the Hot Hatch Championship, when he's a bit of leaning going on to try and get ahead of Nick Brady. He carried so much speed through the corner, and they're going to be side by side into the S's, and that is where you need confidence to do that sort of thing.
The car that we saw off a moment ago, that was James Bishop, 35.
Okay, so last half a lap we're in. Scott Edgar, I think, is just about going to hang on, isn't he? I don't think he's won a race in the Clio Championship before. He's had so many podiums. But it looks like he can hang on for a couple more corners. he's be able to take the win here. He's sideways though into the complex, which isn't particularly ideal, but he's covered it all up, and actually it's Jack Dwayne who's under pressure for second.
Yeah, he was from Christopher Keir, but Christopher Keir a bit slow through the second part of the complex. He's left the door open on the inside line for Justin Griffiths, and is Griffiths going to come through to get third place right at the end? I think he might be, but it's going to be Scott Edgar that comes up to the line to take the checkered flag and win round 1 of the 2022 K-Tec Racing Clio Sport Championship from last year's champion Jack Dwayne in second place, then very close in the end for third place. It was on the line Justin Griffiths that got third place in the first of the 197s from Christopher Keir in fourth, fifth Tim Bentley, and sixth Ben Swift. And Rosser on the final lap, he did, as we saw, get through to 8th place, so he's down as low as 16th, I think, at one point, having been on pole position, climbed back up to 8th. Good race for him in the end.
And the top 8 were separated by 4 seconds at the flag. What an extraordinary race that would. Really exciting stuff to start off this Clio Sport Championship era. And Scott Edgar, he'll be delighted, won't he? Been around the Clio paddock for some time now to get that race win in what was really extraordinary circumstances, wasn't it? To go from 7th to lead.
Yeah.
So Chris Stevens, that's I think going to be the first question, isn't it? To see how he got that lead from 7th on the grid. I think by the time they turned through Clairvaux.
No, it was absolutely extraordinary, wasn't it? It looked like when they sort of displayed on that shot we were just watching, a decent start for Rosser, but by the time they arrived at Clairvaux Corner, it looked very different indeed. And Scott drove with his elbows out, really, to try and keep hold of that lead all the way to the end. So congratulations to him on his victory there. And Jack Dwayne, last year's champion, coming home in second place. We'll have a look at the results now, though. So confirmation of 9 laps completed by Scott Edgar into a smidge under 15 minutes. And he was 0.42 seconds clear of number 1 Jack Dwayne. So it's 40 Scott Edgar that took the win. 1 Jack Dwayne in second place. In third place was number 55 Justin Griffiths. In fourth place number 22 Christopher Keir. Fifth number 4 Tim Bentley. Then sixth number 47 Ben Swift. An encouraging first meeting of the season for him. In seventh place was the 111 car Nick Harrison. Then Owen Rosser, eventually third in class from 16th back to 8th for him in car 53. 9th was 33 Nick Brady, and 10th 56 Christian Lawrence. And Darren Ransom, he was 11th in car 30. In 12th place was 48, that was Charles Shelbourne. Gareth Tansey, number 26, one of the returning drivers, was 13th. In 14th place, that was 15 Alex Hawkins. Then Olivier Algieri, the Carter, 15th in car 38. 16th to number 31, Chris Page. Then Thomas Stevenson Joyce was 17th and 49. Then rounding out the top 20, you've got number 6, Jamie Flynn. You've got 65, which was Andy Bennett, and 20, which was the 21st car was 35, James Bishop, and the 22nd was a non-finisher, in fact, number 7, Stephen Richardson. So an entertaining opening round of the season for the K-Tec Racing Clio Sport Championship. If that's a sign of things to come in this season, then we're very fortunate and have got plenty to look forward to indeed. They are back out again tomorrow afternoon, just before 2 o'clock, for their second and final race of the weekend. Still to come here this afternoon, we've got the 5 Club Racing MX5 Cup up next, then the Yokohama Mazda 7s, with the PBS Brakes Hot Hatch Championship, BMW Car Club Racing Championship, and Takiwa Type R Trophy set to round out the afternoon here at Croft Circuit. So let's head down to the pit lane now and join Chris Stevens, who's got our race winner, Scott Edgar.
Well, Scott Edgar, winner of the first race of the season for the K-Tec Clio Sport Championship. You had a lot of podiums last year, but now on the top step of the podium.
Yeah, finally at last, all the hard work was paid off. It's been a long time coming, really, so.
And you made such a phenomenal start. I mean, talk us through that.
I just nailed it. It's just luck. It just hooked up and went. And, I said to the guys, I'll be in first on the first lap, and it did. It happened.
Well, you had to resist plenty of pressure from Justin.
Yeah, Justin was fast at the start of the race, and then I think Tim held him off just enough for me to get that gap, which was lucky because my tyres were gone at the end. So, yeah.
All right. Well, good luck for race 2. Congratulations again. Let's go and talk to car number 1, Jack Dwayne. Well, you got the championship to defend, and you did a brilliant job coming through the field there.
Tried my best, yeah. Welcome back to racing as such, wasn't it? That was really, really busy. Not a great qualifying for us this morning, so it was damage limitation. Scott got a mega start, which I was getting a bit of a giggle towards the end because I thought where he come from to get to the front was amazing. Yeah, we changed the setup from our qualifying setup this morning and it's worked better. I'm just going to make a few more changes to it and see what we can do with it tomorrow. But a good start, yeah, it was all right.
So what are the ambitions for race 2 then?
Just collect as many points as we can. That's how we won it last year, just by consistent results. So that's how to win a championship. It's not all done on one weekend, but everyone likes to be at the front, don't they? So it's yeah, we'll see.
All right, well, congratulations on a great finish and good luck for race 2. And we will talk to Justin Griffiths as well. A good start to the season for you. In 3rd place, you were really putting the pressure on Scott Edgar in the early stages.
Yeah, it was a good race. So all these lads, they know how to drive properly, so I always knew it was going to be a hard race. And with the new car, it's difficult to sort of know where you can gain the advantage. I've worked a few things out from that race. Hopefully we can take that forward to the 2nd race and possibly get a little bit further up.
So how is it battling in this new chassis shape versus these 182s?
It's a completely different car because I had the old 182 last year and it just handles completely different. But the one thing that is outstanding on it is the brakes, and I think that is somewhere that is we're going to have to monopolise on that a little bit.
Well, good luck for race 2 and congratulations on a great podium. Back up to you, Ian. Next up we have the 5 Club Racing MX5 Cup.